trap.
Yeah.
Like, I think they do stuff like that. Well, they'll throw out a fake story and get people to share it, like, without looking into it at all, and it turns out to be complete horseshit, and it makes the whole thing look like horseshit now. Now it looks like makes the affidavit, it's at least connected to horseshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's a good tactic.
Yeah. Smart tactic.
They get a lot of good tactics.
They're very organized, which is really interesting. And that's one of the things about Trump is that he's so dominant and he's so swing from the hip that no one can kind of corral him, And it seems like she's really open to being coached. Like, some of these speeches are very different than any speeches she's ever given before. And you see the difference between that and then, like, did you see the Oprah interview?
No.
She's off the rails.
Yeah,
Off the rails.
I heard about it.
Into fucking wine mom country again.
Wow.
But Tim Dillon is the best. Tim Dillon's like, she's saying gypsy curses. What is she saying?
Oh, man.
It's like when you get her off the rails and she is, it's kind of fucked up, right? Because that's not the job. The job is not being able to sound cool in an interview with Oprah. That's not the job. But that's the most important part about getting the job.
I just want to hear, like, how they're going to accomplish all this stuff.
Well, they're going to do it once they get in, even though they're already in.
Yeah, that seems to be the typical response, right?
Well, one thing that you can see, like, really clearly is there is a ferocious effort to stop Donald Trump from becoming president again that I've never seen before. I've seen tight races. I've seen people very divided. I've seen it for years. There's always been, like, a division between the Republicans and the Democrats in this country, but not like this. Not like this, where the guy almost gets killed twice and they don't even talk about it.
It's scary, man.
It's nuts.
It's scary.
Almost gets killed twice, and the second one, they just brushed it off. Like, I don't even think the guy got a shot off.
Yeah.
Like, the guy was set up at a golf course for 12 hours with a bulletproof vest on an AK-47 and was specifically there to kill Trump. And you don't think that's crazy?
I think it's crazy they didn't cover it. I mean, it barely got covered.
Barely, in and out. And then the brother of the guy, or the guy's son, gets arrested for child pornography.
Do you know? Have you looked into the BlackRock commercial stuff at all? Is that real?
The one shooter was in the BlackRock commercial. That was the kid that tried to kill Trump.
Yeah.
They said that this guy was in a BlackRock commercial, but I heard that that's not true.
It's bullshit.
But that could be another one that they just throw out there.
Yeah, right.
You throw one out there like that, and then people retweet it, and those people look stupid because you retweeted something dumb, and then it weakens the public's faith in what you have to say about things, and also makes the story look stupid. Like that story about that whistleblower will forever be connected to people retweeting the fact that he died in a car accident, even though he didn't die in a car accident.
Yeah.
So it's always going to be shrouded in bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of genius.
It is, man. It's a great way to discredit.
Yeah, it's a great way to get somebody elected.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
When you're seeing the manipulation just in full bloom, just marching down the street in front of everybody, and no one's freaking out about it. That's what's really weird.
What do you think? Have you thought about who's behind all these assassination attempts? You think they're lone wolves or?
Well, was it Matt Gaetz that was saying that he's been informed that there's 5 different kill teams looking for Trump in the country right now?
Somebody did just say that. 2
of them are domestic.
I think Trump said that. I was just looking at
Trump said it? There's 5 guys. They think they're going to get me. They're not going to get me.
Yeah, he's got 2 right here.
So what's the quote? Big threats on my life by Iran. The U.S. military is watching and waiting. Moves already been made by Iran that didn't work out, but they will try again. Not a good situation for anyone. I am surrounded by more men, guns, and weapons than I have ever seen before. Thank you to Congress for unanimously approving far more money to Secret Service. 0 no votes. What? 0 no votes, strictly bipartisan. Okay. Oh, I understand. 0 no votes, like no one voted against it. Strictly bipartisan. Nice to see Republicans and Democrats get together on something. An attack on a former president is a death wish for the attacker. Yeah, it wasn't just him that was saying that, though. It was, I'm pretty sure it was Matt Gaetz. I know I have that saved too if you want to. But so if there really are 5 different kill teams in the country looking for Trump right now, that's just insane.
But it should be hard to find him, you know?
I mean, he has rallies, giant rallies.
Yeah.
In New York, there was 60,000 people.
That's insane.
See, that's the difference between the Kamala Harris rallies. If
That's a
that
lot of
guy's telling the
buses.
truth, and they really are just sort of manipulating this and putting on theater, that's a big difference between what's happening with Trump.
Yeah.
If he got 60,000 people to come see him and freak out in New York. It's kind of, the media is a monster. It really is. It's such an obvious monster. Such a deceptive, sneaky, propagandist monster.
It's how long do you think the media has left?
They'll be around.
You think so?
It all depends on who gets into office, really. It depends on, so the real fear was when they started getting their claws into Twitter. The real fear was when the government started suppressing accurate information and Twitter let them do it. That was scary close. So Elon buys Twitter, releases the Twitter files. Michael Schellenberger, Matt Taibbi, and all those journalists, they all uncover all these different aspects that's super disturbing and totally illegal. And they release everything. And then Twitter becomes kind of crazy. Like Twitter's wild now. Like it's just totally wild, wild west, unregulated. And then what do you got, Jamie? This is it? Yeah, okay, one of the 5 known teams hunting President Trump before Butler, Pennsylvania attempt was Ukrainian. So this is Matt Gaetz talking about this. But I think that if that hadn't happened, so if all of social media remained like staunch leftist, left-wing, just giving completely into whatever propaganda the government wants to give them regarding vaccines or Ukraine or anything else, with no critical arguments about it that are accepted. Anybody who doesn't follow the narrative, especially people like, they censored people from Stanford and MIT. They were trying to tell them to pull those guys like Jay Bhattacharya, all these
I didn't
doctors
know
about
that.
COVID. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did.
Censoring like legitimate experts in the field who aren't kooks, guys like Peter McCullough, who's the most published doctor in his field of study in human history. And they're like, no, you're a kook. You're a kook. And we know now that was not true, and he was correct. Now we all know, right? All these years later, most people kind of know what the fuck happened, even the people reluctant to admit they got duped.
Yeah.
If Elon does not come along and buy Twitter, I don't know where we are right now. I really don't. Because if they had the clamps on Twitter, and they did the same thing with Twitter that they're doing right now with other social media apps, it would be fucking awful out there.
I know, man. It's Elon's been a blessing.
He really
thus
has.
far, it's a big one. I mean, I don't think they're going to be around that much longer. I feel like that the media will die with the baby boomer generation.
I think if Elon didn't buy Twitter, they would have been fine. I really do.
Probably.
The only thing that fucks them up is YouTube, but they got a clamp on YouTube too. YouTube is they're very restrictive in what you can talk about. Especially during the pandemic. They would ban you from YouTube for talking about things that we know for a fact are true now.
We dealt with a lot of that.
We dealt with a lot of it, right?
I'll bet you did too.
Oh yeah. Anybody on YouTube, you have to like parse your words. Like Jimmy Dore, even when he's criticizing the vaccine, he said, but you should take the vaccine because it's safe and effective.
Yeah.
He always has to say it, like to cover his ass, like as a joke.
Was it nice for you to come off YouTube? Did you enjoy that when it first happened?
Was
it a huge
strategy
pain in the ass gone?
No,
No?
I don't pay attention to it. But my strategy was to become 10% less famous. So when I went over to Spotify was going to give me all this money, and I was like, oh, great. Just fucking be a little less famous too. That'd be good. Like kind of like go the Howard Stern route, kind of fade off into the sunset.
Yeah. Did it work?
No, it didn't work. Little did I know I was going to get caught up in this massive controversy, But it also before that, this podcast was growing on Spotify a little too quick. But